Hello there, Star Wars fans, and welcome to part 2 of this fan fiction. What if Mace Windu survived and was looking for Anakin? Part 1 released yesterday, and if you're watching this without seeing part 1, well, I don't advise it. I would go check that out. But yeah, this is gonna be good. I thought yesterday's was fun. I think today's is gonna be good as well. First of all, though, thank you all so much for 2,000 subscribers. It means the world to see this kind of support on this channel, and I'm having such an amazing time making content every single day. We're only going to get better, streams soon, so subscribe to join this daily Star Wars community. Truly, thank you all. Alright, let's get into part 2 right now. Mace Windu had Boba Fett at his mercy, with no jetpack and a lightsaber inches from his face. Mace demanded something Boba didn't quite understand. "Tell me where to find Skywalker," Mace said. Boba tilted his head and said, "The Jedi Skywalker? I haven't seen him in years. I personally heard he died in the Purge." Mace looked away in confusion. Could the Chosen One truly have died after betraying Mace? Maybe he turned back and tried to kill Palpatine and failed? Well, who sent Boba, he thought. He turned back to Boba, who was standing with a look that resembled almost boredom at this point. "Alright, Boba, who hired you?" Mace asked. And Boba replied, "Sorry, can't say. It's bad business." And Mace knew that answer wasn't going to change, so he pushed Boba into the wall with the Force, knocking him out, and began walking towards Boba's ship. Once inside and seated uncomfortably facing the sky, Mace checked the flight logs. If the place he was hired from was secretive, Boba likely wouldn't have erased them. And Mace was right. Coordinates to Mustafar. Darth Vader strode around in his castle throne room. All he could think about was Mace Windu. It had to be him on Ilum. What other Jedi could wipe out 2 Inquisitors so easily wielding a purple blade? And Palpatine made him send a bounty hunter. Vader threw a computer in anger and it smashed against the wall. He was trying to fight off memories, visions, but he couldn't hold off. And suddenly, he was just a boy in the council chambers back on Coruscant. Qui-Gon, behind him holding his shoulders, and a stern Jedi turned to him with a cold, blank stare and said he was not to be trained. How different his life could have been. And then everything jumped, and now he was in the council chambers again, being given a seat on the council. This vision felt so real. "You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master," Mace Windu told him. The decision that could have changed everything. The vision, Vader was in it, and he would use it to take out his frustration. "What?" he said as he ignited his blue saber, and in unison every council member ignited their sabers, and Vader in this vision went on to kill each and every one of them, cutting down Obi-Wan, Yoda, Plo Koon, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Mace Windu, all of them, to finish the vision. And then he snapped out of it, his rage starting to subside a little bit, but somehow he still sensed Mace Windu. But this now, what he was feeling was even more real than the vision. This was Mace Windu. Mace entered the Mustafar atmosphere, flying Boba's starship, hoping that would give him a bit of a surprise entrance. He wasn't sure who he was about to face, but a menacing castle in the distance showed him exactly where he was going. This just looked like the home for the Sith, and the planet, the castle, everything around here felt dark. He approached the open landing area, seeing no one below, but the ship landed, and Mace began to slowly walk down the lowered ramp. Now he could feel a presence. Not Anakin, but a sad, dark, evil figure. Then he saw him. The huge robotic man made his way into the open area, and the two stared at each other. "So, Master Windu, you survived," the dark machine said to him. "I don't die so easily. Now I'm back to kill the Sith," "Starting with whatever you are," Mace replied. "I see you have a replacement hand. Do you still remember how it felt when I cut it off of you?" Vader asked him, and Mace took a step back now. "Anakin." The two stared at each other, and Vader ignited his lightsaber. "I have waited for this moment since the day we met, Master Windu," Vader said, and Mace reached into the Force. He could feel it now. The tiniest sliver of Anakin Skywalker was inside of the machine in front of him. He would do Anakin a favor by killing him, ridding him of that torturous suit. Mace ignited his saber. "The end of the Sith begins now," and charged Vader. A fight decades in the making began. The purple and red lightsabers clashed, both figures strong in the Force. Mace tapped into his Vapod for the first time since his duel with Palpatine, while Vader had the full power of the dark side as his ally. Sparks flew everywhere as the sabers clashed, and the narrow walls of the hallway the two entered were sliced into with every single slash. Vader pressed on with ferocity Mace had never experienced. If he were at his full power, then Vader's slower mechanical fighting would have been easier to find a weakness in, but Mace had been away from a true battle for 3 years now. Even so, the fight was a fairly even match. "You have grown weak, old man," Vader said to taunt him. Mace pushed Vader away and said, "Maybe so, but look at what you have become. A monster of evil, doing the bidding of a Sith Lord that you let manipulate you for your entire life. Pathetic." And the two locked sabers again. Mace could now feel the pure hatred inside of Vader. They moved further and further into the castle, striking at each other, destroying any object in their way. The two warriors, moving with great speed, their lightsabers flashing through the air as they clashed again and again. Sparks continued to fly as their blades met, filling the air with the smell of burning metal. As they were focused on their fight, focused only on each other, the two paid no attention to the Imperial shuttle landing inside the castle, carrying a dark but calm presence. Windu pressed his attack, striking at Vader with a flurry of blows, but the Sith Lord was a formidable opponent, and he deflected each and every attack. As the fight continued, the two warriors moved across the room, their lightsabers whirling through the air in a deadly dance. Windu attacked relentlessly, but Vader always seemed to be one step ahead. At least that's what Windu was now making him think. He needed Vader to open his defenses with a fatal attack move. And suddenly, Vader thought he saw that opening, and he lunged forward, his lightsaber slashing towards Windu's head. But the Jedi Master was ready. He spun out of the way, his lightsaber flashing as he struck at Vader's exposed side. The Sith Lord grunted in pain, but quickly recovered and launched a vicious counterattack. Windu had the upper hand now. He blocked the blows as best as he could, but even he was beginning to tire. Vader pressed his attack once more, his lightsaber hissing, crackling as he struck at Windu with all his remaining strength. But the Jedi refused to back down, and with a sudden burst of energy, he struck back, his lightsaber flashing as he sliced through Vader's armor, cutting down both of his hands, dropping Vader to his knees. Windu looked down at him, almost feeling sorry. "Goodbye, Anakin," he said as he raised his purple saber to strike once more. And as he prepared to swing down, a blast of lightning shot the saber out of his hands, and then another move in the Force froze Windu as he was standing. Horror filled his mind as he heard it. The disturbing, evil cackle of Palpatine filled the room. He laughed and then spoke. "Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen. You both lack true power in comparison to me and Lord Vader. This is so disappointing. And Master Windu, I could have blown you into a million tiny pieces in that Coruscant office. I could have killed you in any different way. Instead, I gifted you a chance for survival, and I knew there was no greater test for my new apprentice than facing the Jedi he hated most. Palpatine walked down to them, still holding Mace in place. Mace was extremely tired and weakened from the fight, and resisting against the most powerful being in the galaxy was extremely difficult. Lord Vader, your impatience is disturbing. I sent the bounty hunter to find Windu, knowing that would lead him back here eventually, knowing that I could save you here. Imagine, Vader, if I let you go to him on Ilum, you would be dead and left to be forgotten. The two, Mace and Palpatine, looked at each other, and Mace was beginning to break free. He was stronger in the Force than Palpatine expected now, and eventually he did, bringing his saber to his hand as Palpatine pulled Vader's saber to him, an evil smile across his face. He matched Mace blow for blow before finding an opening rather quickly, firing a lightning blast directly into his chest. Mace dropped his saber again, and his body began to burn again, a repeat of what happened on Coruscant. This time, Palpatine would kill him. Mace began to be torn apart by the lightning, and Palpatine cut him in half with Vader's saber. Lord Vader, you failed. We will address this soon. Now go get your pathetic hands fixed. And Palpatine began to walk away, like this was just another day, like this was something he'd expected for years. Yes, my master. Vader looked down to Windu, the master that had treated him like nothing but an untrustworthy weapon. Then he looked up at Palpatine leaving the room, and he truly realized nothing had changed in that regard. From one master to another, one side of the Force to another, he was still looked at as the same untrustworthy weapon. Vader got up to leave, wondering if this would ever change. And that's where we're going to end it today. With Mace surviving being a long shot, I wanted to go down a path of it kind of being another long play by Palpatine, another long-term plan by Palpatine. Because obviously he could have just killed him in the office, but seeing as how Mace survived, I'm going with the path that Palpatine gave him like a 5% chance to survive. Just in case this encounter ever came, he could test Vader. Vader failed, but Palpatine still killed Windu, knowing Vader was just kind of wrapped around Palpatine's finger. So that's where we're at. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought. Should Windu have killed him? I don't think so. I think this was the most realistic path. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, thank you again, all for 2,000 subscribers. Means a lot. Means the world, truly. So thank you. We're going to keep growing. Yeah. Have a good day, everybody. And see you in the next video.